your head on my shoulder. Hold me in your arms, baby.
Hello lovely people, if you are new to my YouTube channel, my name is Yajyaj, and for today's content, for today's video, we will watch people who live like they were in the past. So, kung nagtatanong kayo bakit ganoon ang content ko, it's because I'm 100% retrophile. And I'm a vintage soul talaga. So, without further ado, let's get started.
I'm Doris Mayday, and I'm totally obsessed with the 50s, Daddy-O. Every minute of every day is 1950s to me. It's my whole life. I don't know when I spend any time doing modern things. My house is filled with vintage goodies, from my couch, even my TV, my kitchen table, my bedroom set, my curtains. And when I walk in, it feels right at home. It's not just an obsession, it's my life.
Please welcome Doris and her boyfriend Dylan. Guys, thanks for being with us.
Pogi ng boyfriend niya, no? Cute. Cute. So when? Continue na.
So Doris, your real name isn't Doris. Why do you call yourself Doris?
I was really fortunate. One of my coworkers, my first job, Elvis Sarama, was a original 1960s roller derby girl. So when I was 16, I got into roller derby, and I wanted a classic name like Doris because I would show up to practices with pin curls and fake eyelashes, but I needed a sturdy, you know, killer roller derby name, so I went for Mayday. So everyone has called me Doris Mayday ever since.
Doris Mayday, okay. And when did this start for you? What is it about the 1950s that you love so much?
I really got into it right when I was about 13, that crucial teenage year. I spent my whole life around old cars and old movies, and I loved my grandparents, and I loved their stories and the music, and right when I got to that age where you can finally make your own decisions, I remember I picked up a wonderful, like, 50s-inspired dress for, like, my 8th grade dance.
So, parehas kami. Nag-umpisa lahat ng pagkahilig ko sa vintage at pagiging retrophile sa mga grandparents ko. Sobrang curious ako sa buhay nila noon. Tapos nag-start din ako mag-collection ng mga damit like this one. Nung 16. Kasi nung 16 years old ako nagka-allowance.
Prettier than that moment, and I realized that I wanted to look like this. I idolized it so much, I didn't see why I couldn't just start dressing like it.
That must have been such a relief for your parents, because I'm like, when you're 13, you know, you don't know which way a kid's gonna go, and then you could go to like Megadeth or Judas Priest, and instead you're like, I'm going back to the 1950s.
Yeah.
So, yung unang tao na namumuhay sa So, yung unang tao na i-feature natin dito na namumuhay like in the past ay si Doris Mayday. So, sinabi sa video na hindi talaga Doris yung pangalan niya, pero nag-change name siya. So, ayoko na mag-change name. Okay na ako sa pangalan ko. Krisha Margaret Nicole. Kasi, parang tingin ko, yung Margaret, classic naman na name.
Really, nigga?
Okay, so sa next video naman tayo. Magbibigay ako ng reaction kapag natapos ko na lahat ng video.
I'm Lacey Faye, and I live every day like it's 1958.
So yung isa, she lives like it's 1950. Ito naman, 1958. So medyo similar. Kaya, ayun, medyo similar yung pormahan nila.
People's reaction is it's almost always positive. This is who I am. This is what I like, and I feel like you should do what you like. You should do what makes you feel beautiful and dress however you want to dress that makes you feel the most like you.
People will stop dead in their tracks and they'll just stop and their eyes are fixed on her as we'll walk by.
One place in town that kind of brings in the 1950s vibe quite well is the local pharmacy. It's called Bullet Drug, and they have a soda fountain, they have a jukebox. It makes it a lot of fun.
Time for Sunday?
Let's do it.
As what she said, tulad din ng sinabi ni Doris Mayday kanina, kaya nila napili yun kasi tingin nila doon sila pinaka nagiging maganda. Ako rin sa totoo lang, tingin ko sa mga vintage na damit, vintage na ayos, vintage na itsura, vintage na makeover, doon ko tingin na pinaka nagiging maganda ako. Hindi sa pagiging GGSS guys, ano lang, doon ko lang nahanap yung sarili ko. So yun, sana rin merong 1950s diner dito sa Pilipinas. Yun, sana rin merong 1950s na resto dito sa Pilipinas. Or kung wala pa, ako na lang magtatayo.
As soon as I put on the first 1950s dress with my hair and makeup done, that's when I felt like I was finally me. I found my authentic self and I've never looked back.
And guys, kung makikita niyo yung ilan sa mga makeup niya, parang 1950s inspired or 1950s talaga ginawa. Oy, pero hindi naman pwede yun kasi expired na yun syempre. Pero meron kasing mga tao talaga na kapag sobrang idealize talaga na yung isang bagay, ginagamit pa rin talaga nila. Kahit ako rin, yung dami kong expired na makeup, tapos ginagamit ko pa.
Since then, I really honed in on the 1950s because of my grandparents. They got married in 1955, and their stories, it just made it sound like the best time ever. Everything's beautiful, colorful, happy, optimistic. We bought our home 4 years ago, and it was built in 1953. So we've tried to pack as much in as we can while keeping it authentic. I don't want it to look like it's a 50s museum. I want it to look like it's an authentic 1950s home that you've walked into.
When people walk into our house for the first time, a smile comes on everybody's face.
Our 1950s kitchen, I've tried to do as authentic as I could, and I think the appliances work better. It was built to last forever, that you would keep that forever, and I think so. I mean, a fridge's been running for 70 years, it's fine, it's not stopped yet. The only room that's not decorated 50s is my son's room. So we let him choose.
It feels so normal to me now that I wouldn't really think of it as different anymore. When we first moved into the house and started getting more objects secondhand, I always thought that was kind of weird, but it just got to be so normal, and now it's like fun to go to the thrift store and find something that just makes our house perfect.
Hey, I just want to say guys, na kaya pinost ko muna is, ang galing lang ng story niya. Kasi, di ba, yung sariling preference niya ng style, hindi niya pinipilit sa iba tulad nung sa anak niya. 'Di ba mahilig siya sa 1950s inspired na bahay, ginagawa niya rin yun. So 'di ba mahilig nga siya sa 1950s na things or decorations, bahay or everything. Pero hindi niya pinipilit 'yon na maging preference or style preference din ng anak niya. So ang ganda lang.
Front section is true vintage. One of my favorite ones I just barely found a couple of months ago, and it's actually like an early 50s, late 40s. Another one of my favorites is this one, and I love it because it was given to me by the original owner.
To me, the 1950s style is normal. I understand that to outside folks looking in that it could be weird, but I think everybody's weird in their own way. Everybody's nerdy about something, and it might as well be something that you love.
Okay, for the last video. Ay, bago muna sa last video. Ang galing ng story niya. Ang unconditional life nga. Alam niyo guys, kung di lang talaga mainit dito sa Pilipinas, siguro, ano yun? Siguro araw-araw din akong nakaganto yung damit, ganito yung style, ganito yung hairdo. Pero kasi, you know, yung climate sa bansa natin ay sobrang init. Kaya, mahihirapan ka talaga lalo na kung vintage soul and past enthusiast ka. Sobrang hirap. Pero kasi yung sa collection, di ka naman mahihirapan kasi may ukay naman. Daming mabibili dun.
I'm Sarah Chrisman.
And I'm Gabriel Chrisman.
And we're the Victorian couple.
Atong next video, nag-level up kung yung dalawang tao kanina ay 1950s inspired ang buhay nila. Itong couple naman na ito ay Victorian couple. So, a little fact lang. Kaya tinawag na Victorian era kasi ang queen ng era na yon ay si Queen Victoria. Kaya Victorian era. Nag-start siya ng 1837. Sa pagkakatanda ko, ano nila lang, double check nila lang. 1837 to 1941.
Well, we really loved the Victorian era because it was a very dynamic time, and also it was a time characterized by optimism. People had this idea that the world is getting better and better every day, and we can make it a better place, so we should.
We also love the aesthetic of the Victorian era. I think a lot of people are attracted to the style, the design, and the technology.
There were two things I wanted when I was a little girl. I wanted to live in the Victorian era, and I wanted to be a writer. When I grew up,
oh my god, same. I also love to live in Victorian era or in medieval times. Tapos gusto ko rin maging writer. Kaya yung mga karamihan sa mga books ko is historical fiction about sa medieval times, ganun. Kasi sobrang ganda talaga nung history. Kaya ang hilig ko rin sa history. Pero ayoko lang sa dating pamumuhay, yung way nila ng pagme-makeup. Gumagamit sila ng mercury and lead sa makeup. My God. So, yun. Ang mercury and lead ay very toxic na chemicals. At sobrang nakaka-damage siya ng balat. Kaya, yun lang yung ayoko. Kasi, imaginein mo, 1 week kang magme-makeup. Tapos 1 week mo bago tanggalin yun. Kasi kapag kapag nilagay na sa'yo yung makeup, kailangan hindi mo muna i-wash yun. Tapos sa Victorian era din guys, sa mga nabasa kong novela, kasi inspired naman yun. So, reliable naman kasi well-researched naman yung mga nabasa ko. 2 days lang silang naliligo sa 1 linggo kasi malamig naman nung panahon na yun. Ako din gusto ko try yun kaso ang init talaga.
I found a way to do a little bit of the time travel, kind of, and to let it help my writing. And so when I'm writing about things I do every day, it gives them a very firm reality.
So I ended up working as a librarian, which ends up being perfect for us. I get to help connect people with things that they're interested in, and I particularly love to just encourage people to go further with their interests, as we are doing. We haven't missed any of the modern technologies that we've given up. Our house does have electricity. Electricity was something that was coming in the 1880s and 90s.
And it was here when we bought the house.
Yes, and the light bulbs that we use are period light bulbs with carbon filaments and such, and part of...
And they're mostly for when we have company.
Yes. One of the things that first drew us to the late Victorian period was the clothing. I think that interests a lot of people. So all of our clothes are copied from originals that we have.
In the 19th century, people had different clothes for different activities, and so do we.
I've always loved bikes. I've always loved the way that they've got you out into the world, the way they connected you to other people.
Nakita niyo yung bike guys? Nakita niyo? Laki no? Paano kaya napepreno yun? Paisip lang ako. Ganun kasi yung bikes nung araw eh. Pero paano talaga napepreno yun? Kasi ako, yung simpleng bike pa nga lang ngayon, yung maliit lang. Bangga pa ako. Imagine ko kung ganun Baka kung nung Victorian era nga ako nabuhay, patay na ako sa bike. Kaya buti na rin ngayong panahon ako nabuhay.
The feeling is very different. Riding out of the ordinary, you're high above the ground, you're about the same height as you would be sitting on a horse, and you get a great view and everyone sees you. The reason that we do all these things is to bring ourselves a little closer to the past. And one thing is that food is a way to really directly connect. Food is something that everyone understands and everyone can experience. It's a very direct connection. The flavors and the smells and everything are something that you can directly experience.
The old cooking utensils and the old cooking appliances are wonderful. I love using the wood stove because it's so easy to control, so much easier to control than an electric stove. I really love my rotary egg beater too because you can see exactly how it's working. It's mechanical, there's no mystery to it. It's no magic black box. I think a lot of people have something that they really want to do deep in their heart, but they don't because they're afraid of what everyone else will say. And so part of what we do is we try to set an example to people that whatever your dreams are, they are possible, so you should go for them.
Agree yung sa sinabi ng babae dito. Kalimutan ko agad yung name. Pero oo, di ba lahat naman talaga tayo may desire sa deep inside our heart and soul. Lahat tayo may gusto, a way ng lifestyle na gusto nating abutin. Pero sometimes, afraid tayo sa sasabihin ng iba. So, ayun yung pinaka-lesson na gustong iparating ng Victorian couple. Bakit nila pinursu na maging ganun yung lifestyle nila. Kasi gusto nilang ipa-appreciate sa iba or encourage, inspire ang iba na piliin yung lifestyle na gusto talaga nila at huwag matakot sa sasabihin ng iba. Kasi sometimes ganun talaga sa atin may part talaga sa atin na takot tayo sa sasabihin ng iba. Kaya hindi natin ginagawa yung gusto natin gawin, mapa-lifestyle, career, or look. Pero yun nga, huwag matatakot sa sasabihin ng iba kasi buhay mo yan. Tsaka alam nyo ba, psychological fact. Karamihan sa mga taong nasa deathbed na, ang pinagsisisihan nila is naging ibang tao sila. Nabuhay sila na hindi totoo sa sarili nila. Kaya huwag niyong hintayin yung araw na dumating kayo doon. Piliin niyo kung saan kayo sasaya, kung ano ang tunay na magde-define sa inyong personalities at ang magpapakilala sa inyo sa totoong sarili niyo. So yan, isa-isahin ko lang. Kanina si Doris, ang sabi niya, kaya niya ginagawa yun kasi yun nga, doon niya nafe-feel na maganda siya. So ganun din dapat. Kung saan yung tingin natin ikagaganda natin, gawin natin. Huwag natin pansinin yung sasabihin ng iba. Doon naman sa second person kanina, I think ang pinaka-point or moral lesson ng story niya ay kapag may sarili kang preference, huwag mong ipilit yon sa iba. Tulad ng kanina sa anak niya, di ba? May sarili siyang style. Lahat ng parts ng bahay nila is vintage, pero lang sa kwarto ng anak niya. Yon, magandang halimbawa yon kasi binubuhay mo yung sarili mo sa paraan o buhay na gusto mo nang hindi ka nangingialam sa preference or style ng iba. It's a good lesson. So, ayun, I wish nag-enjoy kayo sa video kasi nag-enjoy talaga ako. Ang daming lessons, guys. And ipapaalala ko lang ulit sa inyo, live your life to its fullest. So, bye-bye!